Welcome to podcast number 32 of Spontaneous Podcast. And today I wanted to discuss something which is very important for intermediate pianists who are at a middle point in their study and they're doing well but still in the process of becoming what they want to be. I think that it's very important to do this, to show some things that I think are very important in the very beginning stages of studying the piano. And one of the really important things I think you can study in certain works, and for instance, what I would like to choose today is a work by Stefan Heller. Just a study, not a very difficult study, but one which tells us a lot about piano playing. And it's this study, I think you've heard it before, this study here. Okay, probably you say, oh, I know it, I actually play it. All right, that's excellent. Very good if you can play it, but let me say one or two things about it. It's actually an incredibly important study because it gives you, in one short piece, the idea of how to actually play it. Dreadfully important for when you're playing larger works by really great works that have been written, and you need to have this background. So I want to just demonstrate a few points about this study, and one of the first points is it's just a very simple start, just this, just that. What can be simpler? Just simple. It's actually the simple things that are often the most difficult. But let's not go into that too much. Let's make it easier. I think we can use we can play this in two or three ways. One way is just by doing it with fingers, for instance, which is often the classical way, and which we're often taught this at the very beginning. Use your fingers. Activate your fingers. Make sure that you're using your fingers well on the keyboard. Playing with the pads of the fingers, the pads of that part of the finger, to somehow make a more beautiful sound. Because if you play only on the very much on the tips, it sounds a little bit more direct, maybe not quite so good. So it helps a little bit in sound. But then also, what do you do with your arms? I mean, these things are hanging there. We've got to do something with that. We can't just, and we have to find a way to relax completely, to be completely, absolutely relaxed. And I think it's very good to start every day just doing these exercises, because if you're playing some of the most difficult works in the repertoire, you need to keep a feeling of body relaxation. And it's not so difficult to get. It's just a matter of knowing what to do. And I think that, as I've said sometime before in other podcasts, if you don't know what to do, you probably won't do it. You somehow have got to know certain things to be able to do it and to be able to train yourself to do these things. But anyway, getting back to the subject, how to play this piece. And I think it's a matter of using not only the fingers, but also the arms. You know, the arms are what make the pieces more musical. They make more content in the piece, more interesting things happen with the use of the arms. And I would suggest, when playing this piece, first of all, maybe you would do it with the fingers only, without any movement of your arm, without getting tense, because you've got to still remain very much relaxed, but only using your fingers. That's probably how you would start. Okay, that's maybe a good start for someone for the first few lessons. After that, I think you've got to go further. And then I would suggest doing this. Using the arms, trying to get the feeling of each group of notes, not only in the fingers, but also in the body, because often the body has a much better timing than just the fingers. The fingers are basically the supports of the arm, and they've got to somehow support our arm. So we let our arm do a part of the work, not completely, because I think we also need the fingers. Of course, we wouldn't be able to walk without legs, would we? So we can't walk on the piano without fingers. So we need to have that. So we do. And then the next thing is to know how to make small pauses. This is one of the things that I've often missed in piano students, and especially even when giving master classes. That's one of the main things I think in piano playing, is to be able to play in a way as you speak. But that's another matter, because I've witnessed several lectures and master classes on speaking. And it's interesting because you've got to, first of all, not speak too fast. It's got to be intelligent. People must be able to follow you. But also, you've got to know how to time it, where to wait, where to go on, and how to do this. And that's exactly what we need in piano playing or in music making. We've got to really know how to time the piece. So you get the groove first. Then maybe a fraction here. So you have just a small breakers, the small moments of waiting and just giving it a little bit extra time that make a huge difference in every performance. You've got to really feel the timing of these things. I think this is very important. Let me show you what I mean. I'll explain it while I'm doing it. Now here, the arms, first of all. Maybe waiting a little longer here. Going on. Sorry, I don't know the piece well enough. Something like that. I think it's just a few things that we got to really feel, these moments of moving on, moments of taking more time. They should be almost in the same pulsation, the same tempo that we are using, but I still think we have to have that flexibility, just a small flexibility. It's the small things that become big. Thanks very much for listening. And if you've got any questions or anything that you would like to ask, if you're having a technical problem or anything like that, just write to me or put it in the comments, and I'll be glad to discuss it in one of the coming podcasts. Thanks very much for listening.